Hey everybody, how you doing? It's John Brewer here, commercial advisor, investment advisor, also restaurant specialist, leasing, sales, asset sales, purchases, buyer side, seller side, all that good stuff. But the reason why we're here today is to talk about best practices to prevent theft in your restaurants. Theft is a real issue. You've got food, you've got alcohol, you've got silverware, you've got grease, believe it or not. There are grease thieves out there right now. You've got people coming in and out. You've got people that work for you. You've got people that don't work for you. You've got a lot of traffic in your restaurant. So you need to be making sure that you are taking care of as much as you can to make sure that things aren't getting little legs on them and walking off. And I'm talking about, just like I said, booze, food, all kinds of good stuff. So let's get into it. Invest in security cameras. Duh, right? If you don't have security cameras right now, I don't want to talk to you. You should have security cameras in your place. You should at least have them pointing at doorways. Any other doorways that do not have cameras should definitely be locked if you can get away with it. Obviously, you have fire codes that you have to deal with, but they should be locked. And it just makes sense. You should have them pointed at point of sale potentially. You should have them pointed at walk-ins and coolers, beer. If you're not locking them up and one person has the key and you're the manager and you need to be walking those people in and letting them in and watching them carry everything and bring it out, you don't have to make it a police state, but you do have to monitor your inventory. It's very important. So one of the other things I recommend is usually you have your camera banks in an office. And a lot of times you'll let employees come in and out of those offices. You know, they're picking up tips that they may have left. You're picking up whatever, counseling, all kinds of things that you use the office for. It usually becomes like a kind of a communal type place. Well, understand, employees can see where the cameras are pointing. And as a former bartender and a busboy and a waiter and everything else you could do in a restaurant, we see those things. They see those things. And trust me, they will figure out where the dead spots are. And when they find the dead spots, that's where you're going to find your theft. Unfortunately, that's the way it is right now in today's times. And like I said, when you're talking about food, you're talking about alcohol, beer, whatever it may be, these things can have legs. They're they're valuable. So you got to keep an eye on them. Point of sale system, POS, you got to have one. Whether it's Aloha, Toast, I know there's a bunch of great micros, great point of sale system. You need to have a point of sale system. Somebody wants to pick something up, it's coming out of the kitchen, it's coming out of the bar, there better be a ticket with it. That's simple as said. It's a great way. Other thing is inventory management system. Now, I've worked at places where we did the inventory as a bartender and food server, and I've worked at places where you bring in a third party to do the inventory, which would probably the one that make the most sense, being that if I'm stealing and I'm a bartender, I'm going to try to make it up in the inventory, which means I'm going to short everything to make sure that it covers, or I'm going to extend everything to make sure that the inventory looks better than it actually is. So by the time you find that out, I may have walked off with a few extra bucks. How would I do that? Maybe I pour an extra shot, someone pays me cash, they tip me a lot more, things like that. One of the big things that we used to see was Cokes, beverages. I charge somebody $5 for a Coke. I'm not ringing it in. Anyway, there's all kinds of things that could go on. Implement a point of sale system. You should have a POS by now. It's just common sense. Inventory management system. You guys should be taking inventory every week. Every week you need to do the inventory. It needs to be part of the hiring process. It needs to be part of your orientation process. You're going to count inventory. If nothing else, the visualness of people seeing the inventory getting counted is going to discourage people from theft. Security outside your building. When I lived in Manhattan, there was a bar that I used to go to called, what's it called? Live Bait. Live Bait. It was on 23rd Street, and I loved it because it used to remind me of the bars that my grandfather used to take me to. Fishing bar, had a lot of fishing stuff in there. They made great calamar. They made great clams, oysters on the half shell. They had really pretty girls behind the bar, so of course you could find me at the bar. And one of the things that happened there, very unfortunate, they were a late night place, and I came in there one day and noticed that everybody was in a bad mood, and sullen, and I kind of asked around and found out that they got broken into. And what had happened was somebody was letting one of the patrons out at the end of the night that kind of hung out and lingered. And what happened was the guy went to unlock the door to let that patron out, and 5 guys rushed the door, got inside, and it was not a pretty sight. I don't want to get into it too much, but there were women bartenders in there that were violated. There were things that were stolen. The manager got beat up pretty bad. And so I want to try to discourage this from you. Make sure, especially late night bars, you're getting out of there 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. You gotta watch. Make sure you're walking your servers and your bartenders to their cars. I always kept one security guard around to just kind of keep an eye on everything. But the main thing is know your surroundings. Make sure there's no place for people to duck and hide in there, and you'll be a lot happier in the end. And the last thing I want to say is have regular meetings about this. You should be transparent and educate your staff. Let them know, hey, listen, we love you guys. We want you to make a lot of money here, but you can't make money by taking our stuff out the back door and feeding it to your family, or taking it out the back door and trying to sell it again. It's just the way it works. So theft is theft, and I hope this was informative for you guys. Again, my name is John Brewer. I am a local commercial real estate advisor here in Delray Beach, Boca, Boynton Beach, South Florida, and I am also a restaurant specialist. Thank you. I hope this was informative.